Okay, I have something to share with you regarding the 4 jacks. That is really quite remarkable. Okay, so we have the 4 jacks and then the 4 queens and kings here. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and we'll go ahead and kind of mix the queens with the kings here. So maybe we'll put the 4 jacks off to the side for just a moment. Okay, they'll come into play in just a second. In fact, they'll be essential to the whole thing. Okay, I just dealt the cards into 3 piles and we'll kind of stack in opposite order. I'll go ahead and show you the cards, and if you're not happy with the mixing, we'll mix further. Do you want me to mix these further? You do? Okay. Well, one mixing we could do that does a great job is the mange over under. Okay, let me just show you where we are now. Okay, are you satisfied with the mixing? One more of those? Okay. A note to you as the performer: you can carry out the mange over under as many times as the spectator calls for. Okay, so let's say they're happy after 2 of them. Okay, but you could perform more. Okay, now at this point what we're going to do is just deal out the top 4 cards, leave the remaining 4 as the second pile, and then have the spectator decide what pile to stack the 4 up-facing jacks on. They can put it on either pile. Maybe they want it right there. And then we'll go ahead and just bury the jacks. So what is this special property that I think I've discovered regarding the 4 jacks? Well, from what I can tell, the best way to characterize what the 4 jacks are able to do here is they are miracle workers. Or put more scientifically, it's almost as if they act as a catalyst to draw order out of chaos. And in particular, we're going to use the 4 jacks to verify whether or not the claim that 4th time's a charm is actually true. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take the cards now, which have been well mixed among the queens and kings, and now we're going to mix them in the most common way ever. Okay, so this is going back to the beginning of time when cards were first used. The most universal mixing procedure was a left-right shuffle in which the piles are randomly stacked. Okay, so I need you to tell me how you would like these piles stacked. It's your choice, right on left. Okay, so we've done that once. We'll do it a second time. And so what we're hoping for is to verify the truth of the phrase, 4th time's a charm. So this is the second time. How would you like these piles stacked? It is a free choice, left on right. Okay, now we're doing our third left-right dealing with random stacking decided by you. That's the important thing. How would you like these stacked? Right on left this time? Okay. Now, a note to you as the performer: the stacking here is truly random and is chosen by the spectator. Now, we've performed the left-right shuffle 3 times, but the claim is that something quite remarkable happens after the 4th time. So let's go ahead and just perform our 4th left-right shuffle. Okay. Now, this time we won't stack. Okay, we're just going to look at each pile separately. Now, I described the jacks as kind of playing the role of a catalyst in some kind of reaction in which they affect the outcome of the reaction without being affected by the reaction themselves. So they're not destroyed or consumed in any way. Okay, so let's go ahead and just look at the left pile. Okay, so we can see 2 of the jacks serving as catalysts here. So we'll go ahead and pull them out of the reaction here, out of the outcome of all of this mixing here. Oh, here's another jack and another jack there. Okay, maybe we'll set the piles just below the jacks, just like that. Okay, so were the jacks able to affect the outcome of this 4th time's a charm process and restore order to chaos? Well, let's just take a look here. So what do we have? We have a queen right there, and we have a king right here. Kind of interesting that they're both spades. I would say that's very nice. So let's just see what's in each pile. Oh boy, check that out. All of the kings have been separated from all of the queens yet again. And it's all because of the four miracle workers, the Jack of clubs through the Jack of diamonds. Okay, so this effect is using a brand new principle on my channel, and it's one that you may see more of because it opens up a fairly large universe of possible effects. Now, for those who are familiar with my channel, when I stack the queens and the kings and I dealt out into a triangle, you'll recognize that as a necessary step to convert that packet to what's called a Bessey sequence of order 8. Now, that Bessey sequence can be mixed in over 1,000 different ways, actually, and not harm it. We just did a mange over-under as many times as the spectator would like to help convince the spectator that the cards are well mixed, and they certainly look well mixed. And then having the four up-facing jacks squeezed in the middle of this Bessey sequence, that's where the new mathematical magic lies. And so it's something I can talk about in the future and maybe describe some of it in the description below. But if you do everything that I did here, this will work perfectly. You'll be able to separate the kings from the queens using the jacks as either miracle workers, if you want to frame it that way, or in a scientific framing, you could refer to them as a catalyst being used in a process that brings order to chaos. And of course, the order here is reestablishing the separation of the kings from the queens. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.